Live chat. All right. We are live with the second episode of the Ball Talk podcast. Shout out to people who slowly been subscribing, looking at watching the content. Appreciate y'all. Had some good discussion in the comic section for my last stream that I uploaded. Now, I was going to reply back with the links and stuff, but I'm just like, nah, bro can go look it up. Because really, if you look up anything with Kobe and the GOAT debate, it's going to be like all the recent stuff is not going to have him in there because it's just going to say LeBron versus Jordan. But prior to LeBron even being up at that echelon, who were they talking about being next to comparable to Michael Jordan? It's only one guy. So you can just go look that stuff up yourself. But what's going on, guys? We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. A lot of stuff to go over today. I actually have some notes that I should be referring to. They're on my phone, as well as some tabs I got open to check some stuff out. So it's not the tabs I want to see though. It's these ones. All right. So let's start off with the first thing I didn't get to talk about. Last time I did a stream, a lot of stuff have happened in the NBA. So we'll go over the NBA first. Damian Lillard has gone back to the Portland Trailblazers. Kind of crazy. Wasn't expecting it at all. Definitely thought he was going to try to sign with a team. He signed a 3-year, $42 million deal. So he's getting paid. What is that? 8. That's not 18, right? 18 times 3. 18 times 3 is 54. That's a little bit under 18. That's like I don't know. 114? That's 14. Yeah, that's 14. I don't know why it took me so long to do that math. So he signed a 3-year, $42 million deal. He's getting paid $14 million per year. He still is gonna get the 50 something mil from Milwaukee that they owe him. And yeah, this is basically like a retirement contract. Essentially, Damian Lillard is 30 what? Let me see. How old is Dame? Dame is 35. So in 3 years he'll be 38. So I don't really see him being able to go to a contender. Maybe at that point, who knows what it's gonna look like for him. He could. The players nowadays are getting older, so I mean the great players are getting older and still performing at a high level. You got Steph, LeBron, KD, like they're still performing at a high level. So you don't know really how his career is going to pan out to be 3 years from now. He's come back from that Achilles injury. It's going to be tough this next season, but I can honestly say that this was a really good move by Dame. This is more so a legacy move. You went, you stayed in Portland, tried to ride it out, tried to stick and bring a chip to the team. Once the team was not making the right moves around him, he finally axed out. Now, no one is going to blame Damian Lillard for that. Mainly because everybody was saying he should have got out earlier. To be honest, if you want to blame him for not doing it earlier. That's what we were all saying. Dude, you got to ask for a trade now. You got to get out of there. And he's like, nah, I don't want to do that. So honestly, you got people's respect for that. Then when he left, he went to Milwaukee, and then you see him and Giannis, and you thinking, oh, that's going to be crazy. Problem is, when they needed them both the most, they weren't consistently healthy together at all. Giannis was injured in the playoffs. Dame injured in the playoffs. What was it? Last year, Giannis was injured, so they had to play without him. And then this year, Dame was injured, so they had to play without him. They haven't been able to stay on the floor together, and Milwaukee had to blow it up simply because they don't have the money to afford anybody else. Because of this second apron, it's kind of messing up a lot of teams' financials, and they put themselves in the mud, and they couldn't get themselves out of it. Now, that's kind of Milwaukee's fault because they also should have moved off of their older guys much earlier. Should have been got rid of Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton. Now, yes, they traded Chris Middleton last year. He was coming back from the double ankle surgery, but they should have been traded him. And then Brook Lopez, he stayed around too long. Brook Lopez couldn't guard nobody out there. To be honest, he'll get blocks. He was a decent defender, but he wasn't really helping too much, especially offensively, since he's just standing at the 3-point line all damn day. So I like that Dame went back to Portland. This is not going to affect his legacy at all. He went back home, man. He went back home. You tried to get a chip and it didn't work out. You might as well go back, because at this point, if he would have chose another team, everybody would have just been saying how him leaving Portland was terrible for him. First, people wanted him to chase rings, but the thing about fans or just people on media who speak on situations like that, they're always gonna turn on you quick. They'll suggest some shit, and then the next minute they saying, "Oh, he shouldn't have done that. That was a horrible move." Now, you was just saying this though. And that's what people tend to do. They just forget so much of how they're bashing on somebody's decisions, and they want to change up their opinion on it so quick. It's really weird how that works. So I'm glad Dame did this, because now what you gonna say? Can't say nothing about him. His legacy is his legacy at this point. He ain't got no chip. Who cares? He's top 75 right now anyway. Without it, I don't necessarily believe he should be. Dame is a great player to me, but putting him over Kyrie or Clay is kind of, that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, Damian Lillard back to the Blazers. I don't really see how that affects them. Maybe it's funny because he left because they drafted Scoot. Now he's about to go play with Scoot. This deal also includes a no trade clause and a player option for his last year. I didn't know that. Okay. That's actually crazy. So he can't be traded. He can't be flipped. I don't even know if he's going to play most of this year, or if he's going to even touch the floor this year. So he'll legit have either one season with them. He'll legit have one season with them, and then that last year is up to him if he wants to go on like a farewell tour, or if he wants to re-up, do another 2-year player option or something like that. It'd be up to him at that point. But yeah, Damian Lillard back to the Portland Trail Blazers. They lost Aiden, they gained Dame, and they haven't done anything else, I think, except draft some guys. So Portland Trail Blazers, they're I guess they're on the up. I really don't know. They're an interesting team though. Chauncey has made that team somewhat competitive for what it is, and they probably there's a chance they could be a play-in team this year. Who knows? Next up, we got Chris Paul. Chris Paul is returning. Speaking of another return, Chris Paul is returning to the Clippers, bro. And this is his retirement year. I mean, his farewell tour. He has said it already, and he's agreed to a 1-year, $3.6 million deal to the Clippers. Honestly, seeing the Clippers make all these transactions, it at first it looked good. Then when you really look at the roster, they signed a bunch of old ass guys. Chris Paul, this is his last year. Bradley Beal is already 32, 33. I mean, shit, James Harden and Kawhi are old. Brook Lopez is old as hell, and he coming off the bench. I think Brook Lopez is 37 now or something like that. Let me see. 37, yes. Brook Lopez is 37. It just doesn't work. I just don't know what they're gonna do defensively. Like, Ty Lue is a good coach. He's probably gonna make them buy in, but there's a difference between buying in and being able to keep up, and they can't. Now they have John Collins, a young defender-like guy. He's probably gonna be able to hold up on the wing with Zubac and him. They're in the interior, they're gonna be fine, unless you're going up against Jokic, of course. But everybody else, there's no great bigs out there that's gonna be too crazy against them. Maybe Zach Edey, maybe Khalil Ware if he progresses better. I don't know. We'll be getting out of Bam Adebayo this season offensively, but I just don't see. Oh, Wemby, you got Wemby too, so Chat too. Oh shit, there's a couple of them, but for the most part, Clippers interior defense should be their strong point. It's their wing defenders I'm not really excited about, because Harden we know he's not a defender. Chris Paul is not going to be a defender, and whether Chris Paul is starting or coming off the bench, that it doesn't really fucking matter, because then they got Bogdanovic, who's not a defender either, off their bench or starting. Like, they don't, regardless of what their starting lineup is or their bench is, they don't have defense. And honestly, maybe Bogdanovic will be coming off the bench because Bradley Beal is on the team now too. And Bradley Beal is not a defender either. So defensively, they're bad. They're bad. They're going to be relying on old man Kawhi and their young guys like Derrick Jones Jr. and Omir Coffey, who they really like. They'll be playing him a lot of minutes. John Collins, pretty much, defensively. Fast break, don't even talk about it because it's non-existent for them. They can probably get down the court, given whoever's running down there, but defending the fast breaks, hell no. So against a team like OKC, if OKC gets any steals, it's kind of over for the Clippers. And I imagine that their biggest problem is going to be ball handling. Now they have great ball handlers. You got the point guard, Chris Paul. You got James Harden. Bradley Beal is a good ball handler too. And Kawhi is not a turnover machine. I don't think he has high turnover ratios. So they got good ball handlers. It just comes down to what kind of offense set they're running. I just think they're just really slow. And I was watching Gil's Arena the other day, and then Kenyon Martin made a good point that they're a half court team. And that's it. They're not gonna get down to court in time for a fast break stop. They're a half court team. Set the offense in a half court. We getting a rebound. We're bringing that ball up slow as hell. Maybe Harden or Chris Paul can throw an outlet to somebody, whoever's down the court in time, but it's rare and few now. They got a lob threat with John Collins, and that maybe changes up their offense and how they play because they did not have that last season. But all in all, I don't know how the Clippers are going to really turn out defensively, and I think you really need some type of defense to win. Like, if every single player on your team or in your lineup is a liability defensively, except two, and they're not known to be great defenders, it's a problem. And they're gonna need to fix that. And I don't know if they can fix that anytime soon. Speaking of defense, the Los Angeles Lakers are gonna get Marcus Smart, baby. Welcome home. Welcome to LA, buddy. Well, home for us, not for you. I don't even know where Marcus Smart is from, but welcome. Former Boston Celtic. It is what it is, man. Rondo came to us and won a chip too, so I'm not even mad at a former Celtic coming to the Lakers. As long as you come in here to play. And the reports are that Luka wanted Marcus Smart. It's actually a good pickup for us. We really needed a defender, a guy who can catch and shoot. It's somewhat of what Gabe Vincent was supposed to be, is what we went out to get him for. It was what he showed flashes of in Miami, and then he's completely gone off the rails since then. Now, it was a new team for him. He wasn't sure of his role, and he was dealing with injuries. I understand. Gabe Vincent actually had a better season last year than his first season with us. Thing is, we need somebody somewhat proven, and even if you can't score offensively, we need your defense to outmatch that, and that's strongly something we need on the team. And I think that's something the reports were coming out about Jake LaRavia was about, that he's kind of athletic and he's a good defender, and that's why they picked him up. Now, I'm not agreeing with the Jake LaRavia pickup for us, but hey, we need people who can stick defense, man. We do. We also need more size, too. I'm expecting us to go get like another 6'10", 6'11" dude to play at the 4, because we need either a starting 4 or 4 off the bench. I'm not really liking Rui no more at the 4, or LeBron. Like, he doesn't guard nobody anyway. So I'd rather move LeBron to the 3, go get us a 4 right there, and then we can have a lineup of like Marcus Smart, Luka, AR somewhere mixed in there together, and then LeBron. I don't know how it's gonna work, but we need more stuff. Now, Marcus Smart is gonna be good for our young guys like Jake LaRavia, like Bronny. It's actually the perfect archetype for him. Bronny needs to model his game off of Marcus Smart, and it sounds kind of crazy to say because Bronny's probably gonna be more offensively skilled than Marcus Smart ever was in his career, but he can take the defensive mentality that he's already trying to implement and use whatever Marcus Smart can give him, because that's a former DPOY for what it is. He did win Defensive Player of the Year that one year when it was him, Mikal Bridges, and damn, I forgot the last person who was on that list. I don't remember. It might have been Rudy or something like that. Because Rudy's damn near in that shit every year, I feel like. But yeah, former DPOY. He's going to be able to teach Bronny a lot of stuff defensively, and having them as a little like duo of just locking shit up. Any little 6'2", 6'3" little guard want to come out here like a Trae Young, put him on clamps. Like I like that. And we seen Bronny in the summer league against Cooper Flag, so he's not so undersized that he's just going to get bullied. Now that is Cooper Flag. He still has to work on his post game. I feel like any veteran with that size matchup is going to take that a lot differently. The normal, and plus Cooper Flag did score on the next play, immediately just turned around and hit the shot. So that all that defense that Bronny was doing, it didn't really work at the end of the day, but it was good to see. And yeah, Marcus Smart is gonna be good for us, man. I really like what he is. I believe that shouldn't be over. That shouldn't be all the moves we make. We should make a couple of more moves. I'm liking what we have so far, though. I'm liking what we have so far, and I think that this could be a contender. You never know. All right, so next we got The WNBA players, they recently just had their All-Star game. I did not watch it. I don't believe I had time or whatever, but they came out with shirts saying "Pay us what you owe us." Now, this has been an ongoing conversation since even the offseason when Angel Reese is speaking on we want to go on strike. We're not going to play if you don't pay us what we should be making, because some of them feel like they should get paid NBA salaries, and then others or just feel like they should get some more pay. The whole argument of getting paid NBA player salary is just, it's illogical, because the WNBA doesn't make NBA numbers. So you can't necessarily make that amount, that dollar amount. Now you can make the percentage, which is what I agree with. I don't believe they're getting paid the most they can get. And if I'm looking at these numbers correctly, WNBA player salaries are determined by a collectively bargained agreement, with the 2025 salary cap set at 1.5 mil per team, and players' salaries ranging from a minimum of 66,000 to a maximum of 249,000, super maximum, for top tier players. So based on those numbers, it just shows that they don't have the revenue to really pay out big contracts. So if these WNBA players are expecting 1 mil per person, it's just not going, per player, it's not going to work. You can't. They literally can't do it for everybody. It's going to be top tier players only, and just like in the regular NBA, you got guys on the roster getting 700K while other guys are getting paid 50 mil. That's just what happens. There's going to be differences in the payment. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not due for an increase in their salaries. It doesn't mean that. They should get one. But they just have to understand that there's not that much money they have right now. The WNBA as a organization does not have that much money to be paying y'all that much. And y'all might feel like y'all out here doing the most. That's good. Continue to do it. Continue to carry the league and put it on your back so you can increase the amount of it. We're not going to sit here and act like the WNBA has been super popular for the last 50 years, because it hasn't. Only real ballers have really been paying attention to it, their families, all of that stuff. Like, I didn't know the WNBA existed myself until probably 10, 11 years ago, to be completely honest. And I've been watching basketball since 08, so 17 years now. Not 08, my fault. 06, so 19 years, and I'm 26. Like, there's a gap in discrepancy and how people are viewing it, and now it's getting more eyes, man. The last 2 to 3 years, there have been a lot more eyes on the W. I promise you, it's way more. It's getting better every year. Just take your time. Just wait. You guys gonna get your just dues. But the minute you going around acting like no one's thinking about you or thinking about you giving you what you earned, it's kind of getting weird now. It's kind of seeming like you just crying and begging for something that you expect to happen when it's not logically able to happen. And maybe that's just something that they have to work on their own. They don't have I don't know if they have a basketball players association like the NBA does. So that they got to get a player association and get that working. I mean, if I'm taking a look at it right now, the highest paid WNBA player as of right now is Jackie Young at 250K, and the league minimum is 66K. For comparison, the highest paid player in the NBA is Steph at 59 mil, while the league's minimum is 1.2. So that's just to show the gap in the amount they're given. And yeah, they could be giving some more. Like, maybe Jackie Young has earned 500K rather than 250, but that they also just need more money to be working with in order for them to say get what they owe. Because I'm pretty sure another 250 isn't gonna make you that much more satisfied. And if that is, then all fair to you, you have the right to ask for that. But yeah, they need to get to working on some things first. So that's it for that. Let's speak on the last couple of things about the NBA. Not the W, but the NBA Summer League has officially ended. I think yesterday was the last game The number 4 overall pick, Mike Knipple or something like that. He ended up winning Summer League MVP. I did not watch the game. Maybe he was hooping. I don't know. The NBA Summer League is like, that it doesn't fully give you a landscape of how the players are going to turn out. But for the top lottery picks, it is pretty important to see how they play and how good they are. So shout outs to the number 4 overall pick. He was hooping. You got to see Cooper Flag, Dylan Harper, Bronny, and Noah. I don't know how you say his name. Sengu, the one that got dunked on for the Bulls. Yeah, that was by Johnny Furphy. That was kind of a nasty, unfortunate for him that that's how he starts off his career, because it's a very popular meme and picture, and it went viral quickly. But he actually was hooping for the entirety of the summer league. He was putting up good numbers and showing us his ability to score and do everything on the floor. So interested in seeing how he plays on the Bulls, especially since he's around the same size as Matas Buzelis, and Buzelis is supposed to be like the next guy up for Chicago too. So we're gonna see how they play with each other in the preseason to the regular season, and kind of keep an eye on them. Like, Chicago is one of those teams where they're slowly acquiring young talent to push for a rebuild. They're just in an interesting spot because they still got Vucevic for some fucking reason, don't know why. Then they didn't pay Josh Giddey yet. Josh Giddey's a restricted free agent right now, and it looks like they don't want to give him that max money, which no team has paid their restricted free agents yet. You still got Kuminga and Cam Thomas. They haven't got contracts yet. It's pretty interesting. So we're going to see what happens with that. And then they got Kobe White. I don't know if they keep Kobe White or they move him eventually, because he does have very good trade value. So it's going to be interesting. But Cooper Flag had an interesting 2 games in the summer league. His first game wasn't his best. Second game, he was hooping, but he's also taking like 30 shots. So in a regular NBA game next to AD, Klay Thompson, eventually Kyrie, I don't really see Cooper Flag throwing up too many crazy shots unless they're just trying to feed, bro. But he's going to play within their offense pretty good. Dallas is going to be looking really good defensively, though. They have decent size, and I think Cooper's going to buy in to whatever Jason Kidd is able to tell him and coach him on. So I do like, who I liked the most, though, in this is Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper was able to show his defensive skills really well, and I think he's going to fit in San Antonio actually really well, especially Carter Bryant too. He was struggling at points in times with his 3-ball. I think one game he went like 0 for 7 or something like that. So a little bit inconsistent in the shooting, but for the most part, he's a young guy, and he was pretty aggressive when he got the chance. So the Spurs have a pretty bright future, man. Wemby's cleared. He's coming back fully healthy. They're gonna be looking crazy, especially their guards are all like hybrid of offensively very good but defensively good too. I mean, you got Swiper, De'Aaron Fox. Swiper, bro, his nickname is Swiper for a reason. He's gonna pick your fucking pocket. You got Stephon Castle, the rookie of the year, who is very athletic, was really good. I think he averaged like 16 or something like that. So I don't know if he's gonna make a jump, but he has to play alongside other guys too now. So Dylan Harper too is gonna fit in there somewhere. The Spurs is gonna be looking real interesting, man. And they managed to keep all their young talent too. So we only are gonna see even more how they progress and what they do with it. So that's gonna be it for the NBA, man. I don't know if I'm gonna be talking more about it anytime soon, unless something more crazy happens, like some trades or something. And if not, we're going to be leaning more into the NFL, because the NFL preseason is starting July 31st. So that's in 10 days, man. In 10 days, we got to get our research down and do all this, because I'm actually joining some fantasy drafts for the NFL. I think the one I just joined, shout out to the homie Joe, the pot was 150. To put in is 150 to get in, I mean, and I forgot what winner gets, like 800 or something like that, or 1,000 or something like that. So it's gonna be a big fantasy draft for me. It's only my second ever real fantasy draft for the NFL. And last year when I did one, the draft started while I was at work, and I was only able to pick my first 2 picks, and then the auto picked the rest for me. Like it fucked me over. So I I wasn't able to really draft my team, even though the auto draft got me Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, which was kind of crazy. I wasn't. If you guys know, if you watched the NFL season last year, Lamar Jackson was runner up for MVP, and Josh Allen was the fucking MVP. Now, if you're thinking about fantasy, if I was on ESPN Fantasy, you can't have two quarterbacks in at the same time for the same week. Can't. So, what the hell was I supposed to do with the fucking MVP and then the runner-up putting up godly stats and not knowing who to put in? Now, I basically, there were weeks where in the beginning, I had Josh Allen over Lamar in the lineup. Yeah, I changed that after like 4 weeks because Lamar was putting up way better numbers than Josh Allen consistently. So, which he should have been the MVP, but they gave it to Josh Allen anyway. So, but to speak on some things about the NFL, Mike Williams is retiring. It's really whatever. Mike Williams wasn't that crazy of a wide receiver for this upcoming season is what I'm saying. I'm not talking about his career. I'm talking about for this upcoming season. His retirement doesn't do much but hurt the Chargers because now they don't have another weapon. This is going into Ladd McConkey's second year in the league, so him being their number one option is most likely going to happen this season. But Justin Herbert needs other weapons too. If I just check to see who's on the Chargers, because I forgot their wide receivers. They still got Quentin Johnston. And some of these other guys I don't really know because I don't watch the Chargers that much. But they got Ladd McConkey, man, and that's all you really need. He had a crazy rookie season. I think his second year is going to be even better. So I don't know how this affects the Chargers offense that much, but yeah, Mike Williams retired. Chargers need another wide receiver. We're going to see who they try to pick up in this continuing of the offseason. Then you got Von Miller going to the Commanders. The Commanders are trying to bolster their offense up right now. I mean, their roster up right now. They're really trying to. They're basically saying we're going for it, and I don't blame them because they were just in the what was that? The AFC? Was it the AFC or the NFC? Yeah, the NFC. The Chargers just lost to the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. And if you don't know what that means that whatever team would have won that would have went to the Super Bowl. And the Eagles won that, they went to the Super Bowl. So they were one away from going to the Super Bowl. Now, I don't know if they go again. For me, it seems like in most sports, when a young team goes very far, for some reason they're not able to hit that make that leap. And what I mean by go very far, I'm not talking about like OKC Thunder winning the chip. That's two different things. I mean like Timberwolves, for example. They made it to the conference finals last year and this year. They're not doing that again. It's either the finals or that's it. And I don't think they're making the finals. Like, for some reason, young teams, who's a good example? The Grizzlies. When Grizzlies were going on their run, they made it pretty far. They can't make it back now. Who's else? The Hawks went to the conference finals one year. They ain't been back since. Like, certain teams, somehow they have a trajectory where it takes them there, and they're not gonna go back. But I don't know what the Commanders is gonna be interesting. I don't think Jaden Daniels is gonna get worse. He's gonna get even better. Especially since he got a year under his belt. He's gonna be able to read the defense a lot better, know when it's time to run, know when it's time to get them yards. The only thing I don't like about the Commanders right now is they're still in talks with McLaurin, I believe, with his contract, and I haven't received an update on it, but it seems like they haven't paid him yet. They still haven't paid him, man. And you want to pay your best guy, bro. I don't get why they're not paying their number one wide receiver. He showed you what he can do. Him and Jaden Daniels look fantastic together. Like, pay the guy, bro. What's going on? I don't understand why the NFL teams are so reluctant to pay their guys sometimes, especially wide receivers and running backs. They get bullshit. The quarterbacks get the biggest contracts out the fucking world. And these wide receivers and running backs hardly ever get shit. So it's kind of crazy that The Commanders still haven't paid him yet. They're in contracts talks. It looks like they're gonna franchise tag him, which that it really is what it is. But I don't know if they're trying to rely on Deebo Samuel. By the way, 49ers traded Deebo Samuel to the Commanders. I don't know what to think about that because he's looking like he's on his last legs. Now he might look really good. He might look like old Deebo to where he's running the ball and catching the ball all the time. But I don't know how he's really gonna look in this offense yet. Should be whatever. But the Commanders, they're making moves to see like they're gonna go for it. They just need to pay Terry McLaurin his money, man. Just pay that guy his money. So preseason for the NFL starts July 31st next week. You got the Chargers and the Lions. I don't know if we're going to expect to see everybody playing in this game or not. NFL preseason games, I don't really watch too much because that's when they tend to run like their draft picks and all that stuff. So we're going to see who's going to end up be playing in that. But another news for the NFL is Will Levis had surgery on his throwing arm. I didn't even know that he was injured right there. But he had surgery on his throwing shoulder, and he's out for the rest of the season. So what does this mean? To be honest, it doesn't really mean anything because they just drafted Cam Ward with the #1 pick. There's no fucking way that anybody thought they drafted Cam Ward with the #1 pick and they weren't gonna start him. Like, if you thought that, you're fucking tripping, bro. Will Levis was benched throughout like 3 weeks last season. It wasn't because of injury. They benched him for not Marcus Mariota. I'm tripping. For Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph was starting in some of them games and doing decent. He had some decent games. He wasn't going too crazy with it. He still was throwing some interceptions, but the guy was benched last year. So there's no way in hell he was even gonna start this season anyway. Especially since they drafted a quarterback with the #1 pick. Yeah, it wasn't happening. So this doesn't mean anything except they don't have a backup now. Now, whoever is their backup, they can go. So I don't know who. Actually, let me just look it up. Because I know it isn't Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph went back to the Steelers. Brandon Allen is their backup quarterback as of July 21st. That's today. Yeah. So I don't know who Brandon Allen is as a quarterback, and that's if they need one, and that's simply if Cam Ward somehow gets injured or something like that. But Cam Ward was gonna start regardless. Like, for anybody who wants to argue that, no, Will Levis was not fucking starting, bro. They wouldn't have chose a quarterback at the #1 pick, and they wouldn't have benched him all last season if they felt like he was the guy. They gave him multiple different opportunities, and he just didn't perform the way they needed him to. Simply put. Okay, so that's enough of football. Let's lean over to another sport that I was diving into a little bit this weekend and this past week was boxing and UFC. So one of the main boxing fights that I watched, what was it? I think it was either yesterday or 2 days ago, was Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios. I wanted to see how Pacquiao was going to do in his comeback since he hasn't fought in a while. He's 54 or some shit like that. I don't know. Man's old, come back to fight. I was hoping he just didn't get washed. I didn't want to see another Jake Paul and fucking Mike Tyson. That I didn't want to see that. And you know what I saw? I saw Manny Pacquiao go out there and whoop his ass. Now, he didn't knock him down or knock him out. He was on his head top the entire fight. Now, boxing, the sport of boxing is a little interesting to me because getting hit matters. Like, Pacquiao's old as shit. He couldn't block. Couldn't block to save his life at all. He was getting jabbed. Every time Barrios threw out a jab, getting hit with it. Jab, hit, jab, hit, jab, hit, jab, hit, jab, hit. But he was throwing them motherfuckers back. He was jabbing. He was hooking, undercutting. He actually, I don't even know what the stats are, but I want to say he hit Mario Barrios with more uppercuts than anything. And hooks. Barrios just hit him with a bunch of jabs. And to be honest, Barrios could have won this fight single-handedly just off of being more aggressive, but he wasn't. And I believe that they cheated them. They cheated Pacquiao, man. Because Pacquiao was, not only did he last all 12 rounds, he was the most aggressive the entire fight. Like, a draw for this was kind of crazy to me because I felt like he won the entire fight. I'm not saying that he's better than Barrios at the current stage because I don't think he is. He just was the most aggressive person. And being aggressive rewards you the most in boxing, especially if you're landing the most hits. Now, you getting hit with jabs all the time and not able to defend yourself, you're probably going to lose then because that's going on the scores card. That's what the judges are basing scores off of. At the same time, him standing there and fighting that entire time and whooping Barrios' ass is commendable, man. So shout outs to Manny Pacquiao. I do feel like he won that fight. I personally feel like he won that fight. Just from watching it, and I was watching every single round, he was on his ass. And Barrios was rarely defending himself. Like, he was punching back, but majority of those rounds he was losing, in my personal opinion. So that's my 2 cents on that. And then UFC, we got a legend retired, Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. They ended their trilogy. Very good fight, honestly. There was a bunch of high and crazy moments in this fight where I thought it, in the beginning when Max Holloway knocked down Dustin, I thought it was over. And then bro somehow recovered and then was beating the shit out of Max. Like, I'm not the biggest UFC fan, and I usually don't tune into UFC too much, but I enjoyed it this year. I enjoyed that match especially, and I might do some watch parties in the future. So if you guys need to check out my KSG live channel or something like that, and we just go live on Twitch, and I'll do some shows in the future and have fun with it for real, because that was fun. That was fun. It went to 5 rounds and it was amazing. At the end, when Max Holloway, he started pointing at the mat, he heard the 10-second clap and he started going crazy on Dustin. I was like, ooh, like Dustin didn't want that. He clearly didn't want that smoke. At that point, he was like, "Bro, I'm tired. This is the end. I'm ready to be done with this shit." And Max was like, "Nah, you about to, what's going on, Dad? You about to put in that work, up and running? Yeah, we up and running." So that was a very good, very fucking good main event. And there was other matches on the card too that were good from what I seen. I just wasn't able to pay attention too much because the Pacquiao and whatchamacallit fight was happening at the same time. So yeah, that's going to conclude all the topics that we got for today. Oh, why was that set like that? Yeah, I'm probably gonna stream again in a couple of days or next week if we get more news about what's going on in the world, as well as we're doing a prize picks or betting show that I'm still working on in the future. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And also let me know in the comments what you want to discuss, anything, if you agree with stuff going on, and we can have a conversation and talk about stuff. I do want more engagement and things to talk about with you guys. So let me know your opinions and how you feel about some of the things that are happening out here and what other sports are going on too. So I'll catch you guys in the next one though. Bye.